my reaction to the backlash against the ending of the show, I felt like no one's going to be happy. Not everyone is going to be happy with how they ended it. I don't know how you finish that, but I think what they did on television was literally one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, and it's masterpiece in terms of the things they executed. But what I didn't enjoy, and I found somewhat ridiculous, is like people kind of demanding we do it again, like the blood, sweat and tears that went into it and the hard work. It was kind of like, okay, fine, you didn't like the art, but you can't then ask for a receipt on an artist's work. You can't go up to an artist, like a painter, and be like, do you mind just adding a hat to that guy because I don't really like it. It's a bit weird thing to do. You just be like, this is the thing that I've offered up into the world, and if you like it, great, and if you don't, then that's just is what it is. That's what art's about. It's not, it can't be made for everybody to love. And but I think they did such an incredible job, and it was a very hard plane to land, and they did it. They kicked butt as far as I was concerned. I think what kind of like annoyed me more than anything was that they were kind of questioning the ability of the writers, and I'm like, these are writers that have had you hooked for a decade, so don't get that twisted. Just because you didn't like how it ended or it didn't satisfy what your expectations, like, fine, but they're brilliant at what they do, and that is undeniable. And I'm, I took that quite harshly, actually. I was like, how can you say that? And they're just wonderful people, and it was great to have to say their words, and it's like an honor that I will kind of hopefully remember forever. So, yeah.
You just again with your hair, because I want to get to all the really cool bracelets. There you go.
I knew there'd be a reaction to Missandei's death. I think I anticipated it because she's like the only woman of colour on the show. I was like, I knew that there would be a reaction surrounding that, and also because she's such a kind, loving, kind of loyal soul, and the fact that she got caught up in it, of all people, is like just heartbreaking. So I knew there'd be like an emotional and also a kind of like social political kind of response to it too. So I was prepared for that, but I was not prepared for how big the reaction would be. And a lot of people were talking about it and had opinions, and I was kind of welcomed the conversation, because I think it just again leads to this conversation about representation and why we should have more of it behind and in front of the camera. Because then, for the one or two characters in a show like Game of Thrones, like they're put on so much more of a pedestal. There's so many more hopes and dreams kind of poured into these two characters. So when we lose them, it's difficult. Yeah, my reaction to that was like, it's a welcome conversation, and I was also just very touched by people's love for her and despair for her and the heartbreak around it. It was sad, and it was weird because I was watching it as I was packing to fly to New York, and it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I was like, oh, she's gone.